In this video, we are going to learn about the digestive system anatomy. We are going to see which one are the primary organs of digestion and which are the accessory organs. Let's go over the main functions of the digestive system. Our digestive system, it takes in food. We eat food through our mouth, which is part of digestive system. And then the digestive system, it breaks it down into nutrient molecules, which can be absorbed into the bloodstream, and then it rids the body of the indigestible remains. Organs of the digestive system, they fall into two groups. We have the primary organ, which is the alimentary canal. It is also known as gastrointestinal uh, uh, can tract or GI tract or gut. It is a continuous muscular tube that runs from the mouth to the anus, and this is the primary organ that digests the food. And what does digestion mean? It means that it breaks down the food into smaller fragments and then it absorbs the fragments through the lining into the blood. The organ of the alimentary canal, the organs, they are, let's start at the mouth, and then behind the mouth there is pharynx, then there is esophagus, stomach, small intestines, large intestines, and the anus. And these organs listed over here, they are known as the accessory digestive organs. In the mouth we have teeth and tongue, and then in the abdomen we have gallbladder. Gallbladder is a small structure which is present in the at the level of the liver. And then we have some digestive glands. These produce secretions that help break down the food stuff. They are salivary glands, liver, and pancreas. Let's go over this figure. This is our alimentary canal. It starts from the mouth. This is pharynx over here. And then pharynx continues into the esophagus. Esophagus opens into the stomach. Stomach opens into small intestine. Small intestine has three parts: duodenum. This, which you can see over here, is the duodenum. Then there is jejunum, and then there is ileum. So these all three are the small intestines. Small intestines, they open into the large intestines. Large intestine, they have ascending colon, transverse colon, descending colon, cecum, um, uh, sigmoid colon, and then they have rectum and anal canal. And now let's look at the accessory digestive organs. So here in the pharynx, we have these salivary glands. They secrete saliva. They are parotid gland, sublingual gland, and submandibular gland. The names of sublingual and the submandibular glands, they are telling you where they are located. Lingual means tongue, so it is located near the tongue, and submandibular, it is located near the mandible. And then here, this is our liver. It is also accessory digestive organ. This is gallbladder. This is pancreas. Digestive process, it makes the food less complex, so nutrients, they can be absorbed by the body. And processing of the food, it involves six activities. First of all is ingestion, right? I put a food in my mouth, eating. And then there is propulsion. For propulsion, there will be two movements. So propulsion, it means the movement of food through the alimentary canal, which includes swallowing, which is voluntary. Then there is peristalsis. Peristalsis, it is involuntary, and it means that there are regular rhythmic contractions and relaxation of the alimentary canal, and in this way a wave, it moves from one portion to the last portion of the alimentary canal. This peristalsis, it moves the food along. Let me read it from here. Peristalsis is the major means of propulsion of food that involves alternating waves of contraction and relaxation. In this diagram, we can see all the six mechanisms which are used by the GIT. So this is ingestion. Ingestion is we eat the food, And then when we eat the food, there is mechanical breakdown. It involves chewing in the mouth. And so because we are on this point, let's see what happens in the stomach. There is churning of the food which breaks down, and then in the intestine there is the process of segmentation which breaks down and mixes the food. And then the food, now after the mouth, it is it is pushed down, it is swallowed into the esophagus. So this is known as propulsion. Has swallowing is propulsion, and also peristalsis is propulsion. What is peristalsis? It is a rhythmic wave which starts in the esophagus, it goes to the stomach, to the small intestine, to the large intestine, and it pushes the food as it moves along the alimentary canal. Then another process which is used is known as digestion. So digestion is that the food, it is mixed with the enzymes, and the food, it is converted into its simplest form. And then those simplest form, they are absorbed. This happens in the small intestine. Digestion happens in the stomach and in the small intestines. Absorption, it happens in the small intestines primarily. And then it moves to the large intestine. In the large intestine, only water is reabsorbed, and that part component of the food which is indigestible, it is removed from the body. Organization of the digestive system. Let's see how digestive system is organized. There is a serous membrane. It is known as peritoneum. It lines the abdominal cavity, and it consists of a visceral peritoneum and a parietal peritoneum. The visceral peritoneum, it is attached on the external surface of most of the digestive organs. Some organs, at some points, they are not covered by the peritoneum. When you read sometimes in detail, you will learn that. So visceral peritoneum, it is a membrane on the external surface of most digestive organs, and parietal peritoneum, it is the membrane that lines the body wall. And in between these two layers, we have a peritoneal cavity. Peritoneal cavity is a fluid-filled space between the peritoneums, and that fluid lubricates the mobile organs. And then there is a specialized type of peritoneum which is present in the abdomen. It is known as mesentery. What is mesentery? It is a double layer of peritoneum. The layers, they're fused back to back, and it extends from the body wall to the digestive organs, and it provides the pathway for the blood vessels, lymphatics, and the nerves. They travel in the mesentery, and it holds the organ in place, and it also stores fat. So these are the functions which which are provided by the mesentery. And what is it? It is specialized. It is just fused layers of peritoneum. And then we have some intraperitoneal organs which are located within the peritoneum, and then there are also some retroperitoneal organs. Retro means behind the peritoneum, just like when we did urinary system, we said kidneys are retroperitoneal organ, but over here we're discussing the digestive tract. So retroperitoneal organs, they are located outside or posterior to the peritoneum, and it includes pancreas, duodenum, and some parts of large intestine. So these three organs in the digestive system, they are retroperitoneal: pancreas, duodenum, and parts of large intestine. Now, in this diagram, what I just said previously, it will become more clear to you. Okay, so this is the gut wall. Just imagine we have simplified it. This is the gut wall. This is the alimentary canal, and then this, which is lining the viscera, this is the visceral layer of the peritoneum. And then this outside lining the cavity, this is the parietal layer of the peritoneum. In between these two layers, there is the peritoneal cavity. Now, this is known as dorsal mesentery. If I come over here, they have labeled it as well. This is dorsal mesentery. So some of the organs, they will be attached through the dorsal mesentery, and that dorsal mesentery, it will stabilize the organ and the blood supply and the nerves. They will travel in the mesentery to go to the organ. So some intraperitoneal digestive organs are also suspended from the body wall by ventral mesenteries. So this is liver. There are two portions of the ventral mesentery. One is behind the liver, and one in front of the liver. And then this is important. Some digestive organs are retroperitoneal because they have lost their mesentery during the development. So this is just to give you the idea that where is this, these terms, what are these terms. All right, now what can go wrong in the peritoneum? So there is a condition known as peritonitis, and it is extremely painful. What is it? It is inflammation of the peritoneum. It can be caused by piercing abdominal wound, perforating ulcer or ruptured appendix. So, and it is peritoneal coverings, they stick together, which help localize the infection. So the peritoneal coverings, they by sticking together, they try to localize the infection so it won't spread in all of the abdomen. And it can be dangerous and lethal if it becomes widespread. Treatment is it is removed if it is localized, and also antibiotics are given to the patient. Now let's look at the histology of the alimentary canal. So alimentary canal, it means we are what is alimentary canal, just for revision, starting from mouth to the anus. Now let's see all digestive organs. We will not talk about the mouth. We will start from the esophagus. Okay. So all digestive organs have same four basic layers or tunics: mucosa, submucosa, muscularis externa, and serosa. Now let's see what these are. Let's go over this slide, and let's see, let's start with the mucosa. So the innermost layer, it is the mucosa. This layer which is lining the lumen, it is known as mucosa. Mucosa has three layers: epithelium, lamina propria, and the muscularis mucosae. And mucosa, it forms many functions. First of all, it is protective. Just remember, if you call your immunity, it is first line of defense, skin and mucosa. They make the first line of defense. And then it also secretes mucus, because many times the epithelium is going to have the goblet shaped mucus cells which are going to secrete mucus. And in different parts of the alimentary canal, it also secretes enzymes and hormones. And its third function is that it absorbs the nutrients. It helps in the absorption of the nutrients. And now it's under the mucosa. Let's discuss the epithelium. So the epithelium of the mucosa, it is simple columnar epithelium with mucus secreting goblet cells all over the alimentary canal, with three exceptions. Those three exceptions are the mouth, esophagus, and the anus. They have stratified squamous epithelium. Everywhere else in the alimentary canal, the epithelium is simple columnar epithelium. And then we also already said that epithelium of the mucosa, it secretes mucus, which is a slippery substance. Mucus, it lines the lumen, and it is protective. It protects the alimentary canal from being digested by the enzymes which are secreted for the digestion of the food, and it also makes the passage of the food easy. And then I already said that the epithelium, like it's part of the mucosa, it can also secrete enzymes and hormones. And under the epithelium, we have lamina propria. This is lamina propria. Let's trace it here. Lamina propria is made up of loose areolar connective tissue. It has a rich supply of capillaries, and these capillaries, they nourish the epithelium, and they also absorb the nutrients, because nutrients, they have to be absorbed in the blood. And it also contains lymphoid lymphoid tissue. So this is MALT. MALT is mucosa associated lymphoid tissue. Remember, when we did the lymphatic system, we said that this word MALT, it came along. So this is where MALT, it is located. It is located in the alimentary canal at different locations in the lamina propria. So this is what is the role of this mucosa associated lymphoid tissue. It helps in the immunity. When it detects the bacteria and the pathogen or some other foreign material, it protects the body. It is part of the immune system. And then the outermost layer is the muscularis mucosae. Outermost layer of the mucosa is the muscularis mucosae, and it is a smooth muscle that produces local movement of the mucosa. So we are done with the mucosa. Now let's go to the submucosa. Submucosa, it also consists of areolar connective tissue. It contains the bloods and the lymphatic vessels, and it also contains the lymphoid follicles. And it contains submucosal nerve plexus that supplies the surrounding GIT tract. So this is very important. Submucosa has submucosal nerve plexus. And submucosa also has abundant amount of elastic fibers, and these help the organ like stomach to regain the shape after storing large meal. Then after submucosa, there is muscularis externa. It has an inner circular and an outer longitudinal layer of smooth muscle, and this muscularis externa. This is responsible for the peristalsis and for the segmentation. And this makes sphincter in some areas. It thickens and it makes the sphincters, which are just like the gateways, really tight. They constrict the alimentary canal from there, and they regulate. Outside the muscularis mucosa, there is serosa. Serosa, it is made up of the areolar connective tissue covered with mesothelium. Mesothelium is a single layer of simple squamous cells. And this serosa, it is replaced by adventitia in the esophagus. Adventitia is made of dense connective tissue, right? Like I said, like serosa is areolar connective tissue, but when in the esophagus, it is replaced by adventitia. Adventitia is dense connective tissue, and it holds the esophagus to the surrounding structures. And the retroperitoneal organs, which lose their mesentery, they contain both the serosa and the adventitia. Yeah, we went over this slide, so it will be there for you to read. So I will not spend time. So this is about the epithelium and the lamina propria, muscularis mucosae, submucosa, and then there is muscularis externa, serosa, and we are done with the layers. Now let's come to the blood supply. The blood supply of the alimentary tract of the GIT. There is a splanchnic circulation, which includes the arteries that are branches of aorta, and then there is hepatic portal circulation. Hepatic portal circulation, it drains the nutrient rich blood from the digestive organs, and that blood is delivered to the liver and for processing. Now let's see how digestive system is controlled. So our digestive system, it has its own intrinsic nervous system, which is known as enteric nervous system. And that enteric nervous system, you can say it is also known as gut brain, and it contains many neurons, more than the spinal cord. And gut brain is made up of enteric neurons that communicate extensively with each other, and the major nerve supply to the GIT wall that controls the motility is the enteric nervous system, its own intrinsic nervous system. So this is just a diagram. It is present everywhere, and let's now see where it is located. So enteric neurons make a bulk of two main interconnecting intrinsic nerve plexuses. First one we discussed, submucosal nervous plexus. Okay, submucosal nervous plexus. When we were doing submucosa, I said there is a nerve plexus present, and this nerve plexus, it regulates the glands and smooth muscles in the mucosa. It is present in the submucosa, and like it is written over here as well. And then the other one is the myenteric nerve plexus. It controls the GIT motility, and it lies between. So if it has to control the motility, it has to lie between the circular and the longitudinal layers of the muscularis externa. Remember, muscularis externa, it is present outside the submucosa, and it is responsible for peristalsis and segmentation. So this is where myenteric nerve plexus is present. Now this enteric nervous system, it has short reflexes and then it has long reflexes. It participates in these both types of reflexes. Short reflexes, they are mediated by the enteric nervous plexus, and they respond to stimuli in the GIT, and they control the patterns of segmentation and peristalsis. Then we have long reflexes. Long reflexes, they involve the CNS integration centers and the extrinsic autonomic nerves. They respond to stimuli arising inside or outside of the gut, and it allows the extrinsic controls to influence the digestive activity. And for the autonomic nervous system, the parasympathetic nervous system, it enhances the digestive process, and the sympathetic system, it inhibits the digestion. Now let's go over this diagram so we can see. So let's look at the short reflexes. Short reflexes, they are in the gut. Okay, and so what, there are internal stimuli, Those internal stimuli can be changes in the GIT stretch, or in the lumen pH, or the nutrients, or the solute concentration. And these stimuli, there are chemoreceptors, there are osmoreceptors, and there are mechanoreceptors. So these stimuli, they they stimulate these receptors, and then the local those signals go to the local nerve plexus, that is the gut brain, which is submucosal, and the myenteric plexus, and then they send response to the effector smooth muscles or glands in the gut, and the response is the change in the contractile or the secretory activity. So this is the short reflexes. Now let's look at the long reflexes. So in long reflexes, these are the internal stimuli. Long reflexes has internal stimuli, which can be the same change in the stretch, or in the pH, or in the nutrients, or in the solute concentration, and then also the external stimuli. External stimuli, for example, sight, smell, taste, thought of food. Many times when we smell something good, we just our glands, they salivate. So that is external stimuli. So both of these stimuli through the chemoreceptors, and external stimuli directly, they stimulate the central nervous system. And that central nervous system, it sends its responses via extrinsic visceral efferents, autonomic, belonging to the autonomic nervous system, to the local intrinsic nerve plexus. And then the local intrinsic, this send signals to the effector smooth muscles or glands, and the change comes. So in this way, these long, because of these long reflexes, the higher centers, they can make changes in the response. Now there are three key concepts. They regulate the GIT activity. First of all, the digestive activity is provoked by a range of mechanical and chemical stimuli. Receptors are located in the wall of the GI tract organs. They respond to stretch, changes in osmolality, pH, presence of substrate, and end product of the digestion, just like we saw in that diagram. So they are the digestive activity can be provoked by mechanical and chemical stimuli, and the receptors are present in the GIT. And then these effectors of digestive activity are smooth muscles and glands. So where do the signals go? They go to the smooth muscles and the glands, just like we saw in that diagram, and that is where the change is happening. And reflexes can also activate or inhibit digestive glands that secrete digestive juices or hormones. And then they can, when stimulated, they can also initiate reflexes that stimulate smooth muscles to mix and move the lumen contents. So that was all in that diagram, if you can relate to that. And then the neurons, the intrinsic and the extrinsic, and the hormones, they control the digestive activity. Nervous system, it controls the intrinsic controls, they have short reflexes. Extrinsic controls involve the long reflexes, and then hormonal controls. Hormones from cells in the stomach and small intestine, they stimulate target cells in same or different organs to secrete or contract. So there is nervous control, there is also hormonal control. And now this is a link in present in your Pearson. If you can go and watch this, it things will become more clear to you.